Hey, I'm Todd. Thanks for watching my video and do all that good YouTube stuff. Share it, like it, hit the notification bell, thumbs up, subscribe, all the things that you do. Thanks for taking the time to watch my video and saving some money perhaps. I also invite you to check out the links in the description for some long-term savings with the stock market. All right, rear brake pad replacement, rear brake caliper and rotors. We do a sticking caliper. Here's the brake master cylinder in the front. Open and close. .3 brake fluid on the cap listed. There's a minimum and a maximum line on the side. Make sure the fluid's in between here. We'll be collapsing the pistons. The fluid level will be rising. Just want to make sure brake fluid does not come out of the master cylinder. Keep an eye on the level. Brake fluid can damage paint over time, so a turkey baster, a clean rag, and suck it up, keep it from spilling over. Then when we're all done with the brakes in the back and the lug nuts are tight, then you'll pump the brake pedal a few times to set the calipers and everything in place. Of course we're going to be bleeding it, I guess, too, so we'll be back here, but at the end you really want to pump the brakes, verify they feel good, and then verify your fluid level somewhere between minimum and maximum. But we'll be back to bleed brakes. So I want to get the wheels off the ground. We got 5 19 millimeter lug nuts to take off. Alright, got a rear pumpkin here. You can jack up on this pumpkin. Should be no problem to lift up the back of the vehicle there. So, and then otherwise we got our pinch weld along either side. Like a bracket here, so clean a good metal jack up, use safety stands, protect yourself. So if you don't have impact tools, you want to break the lug nuts loose by hand and turn it to while the vehicle's on the ground, the wheel's on the ground, and go ahead and jack it up and take the wheels off the rest of the way, lug nuts off the rest of the way, and get the wheels off. Alright, then we have the brake rotor, brake caliper mount, and brake caliper. 2 bolts for the brake caliper. They're both 14 millimeter, and this vehicle happens to have 14 millimeter bolts for the bracket too. So all bolts, all nuts, everything's left to loosen. That's counterclockwise, and right to tighten. So we're going to take some bolts off and do some good things. We're probably going to stick a screwdriver in here, which I already did before when I checked it. We'll stick a screwdriver in here and try and collapse the piston. And then you can check your slides and make sure they're free and make sure the piston collapses. However, for me, the piston did not want to collapse. It's going to get in there like that and just pull back, and the piston should collapse slowly. But I had no luck doing it because it was seized. You'll see the boot is torn. So this side was getting hot after a while. The caliper was not releasing. So let's take stuff apart. Since we're replacing the caliper, you could just take the caliper assembly off and not the caliper, just the caliper. You can take the whole bracket, take everything off. But I'm doing this so you can see how just to do brakes, if you need to do just brakes. See, for example, the slides are good. The piston boot is not in good shape, protecting it. Probably got dirt and stuff in there, jamming it up. So we're going to replace the caliper for that reason. And when the time comes, then we'll zip off the brake hose fitting here, probably a 12 millimeter, and transfer that over. So there's going to be a copper washer probably here, and then they got the fitting and another copper washer, then the bolt head. So So that's what's going on right there. So we'll get this rotor off. Should be a slide-off rotor. If not, there's 2 bolt holes here, which are 8mm by 1.25, which is the thread pitch. You can screw a bolt or 2 in there and it'll force the rotor off. That is a problem, so I got a screw ready. Little brake, emergency brake inspection cover. We just push this out, swap it over to the new rotor. Our emergency brake pads, emergency shoes need to be in decent shape. So we're halfway there, kind of, sort of. 2/5 of there. We'll just throw a new rotor on here and continue to start putting things back together. So I might make a video on missed box, wrong parts sometime. So the caliper I got for this is wrong caliper and the wrong side. What I got was a caliper that has an internal mechanism for the emergency brake, which this one does not. So I'll be waiting for the right parts. Yay! Alright, so we're jumping to the other side. I have my brake pads. Interesting, there's only one squealer, wear-out indicator on the pads. Usually there's at least 2. So, got our caliper, some hardware with the caliper, pretty easy. So I'm actually like to take this apart and make it a little easier for reinstallation, along with our new brake rotor. This is a fully coated rotor. No need to wash it, you can install it right on there, but if you see exposed metal here, most brake rotors and drums will come with a little film that you need to wash off with some warm soap and water. So, but this is a Rebestos fully coated rotor, so we just take it out of the box and put it on, and it's good to go. And that'll just wear off with the brake application with no worries. So let's put the caliper together. We're just doing the other side since we're waiting for that caliper. We'll torque those bolts down. We'll tighten the 2 bolts to 59 foot-pounds. Going to put a lubricant on the contact points, the slide points here. And it slides on our nice new metal. Trying not to don't get any on your, trying to get any in your brake pad material. Single squealer on this side in the back. Tighten these to 19.9 foot-pounds apparently. Taking off the bleeder screw cap. $10mm. I just got a bag with the new bolt, a banjo bolt it's called, and 2 gaskets, 2 copper washers. I often find the replacement one is smaller a little bit, usually 11mm, since I'm a metric guy. Give it a wipe down, make sure there's no gaskets stuck on it. We've got our new bolt with the gasket. Start all nuts and bolts. Start all nuts and bolts by hand. Guess my battery's going dead. I just lost my light, so I'm gonna start that by hand, and then we'll torque it down. And then we got the bleeder screw opener already, so we'll let it flow until we start getting some air and brake fluid. They say 13 foot-pounds for the banjo bolt, and here we got some fluid going. Give the wire a little, give the hose a little jiggle, get some air flowing through there, maybe pushing. All right, so we're going to tighten that up, and then we'll have to wait for a caliper, and then we can bleed both brakes. So what we like to do is we got another person get in the car. They're going to step on the brakes 3 or 4 times, pump the brakes. The caliper's going to squeeze. And then they'll hold the brake pedal down. Then we'll open this up. We'll get some brake fluid out and probably some air bubbles. Then we'll close it while they're pushing down. Then they can, once we close it, they can let up on the brake pedal. Brake pedal will come up. They can pump it 3 or 4 times again. And then hold it down. While they're holding it, we open this up. That brake pressure, from holding the brake pedal down, we'll force fluid out, get some more fluid, air bubbles, and we just want a stream of brake fluid, and then we know we're done. So we'll wait for the other caliper.